Hi, I'm Geoff Thew, professional shitbag, and this is not my mother's basement. This is my girlfriend's mother's basement. I'm currently here celebrating Christmas with her family, so I don't have a lot of time to... No?
Geoff, you gotta wear your Santa hat.
But this isn't really a Christmas video.
This is a Christmas video from the Santa hat.
So, I am at my girlfriend's place for Christmas, and that means that I don't have a lot of time to make new content for the channel to go up this week. I'm working on stuff for the next few weeks, like the JoJo video, stuff related to Crunchyroll's anime awards, and a few other things that I have in the pipeline that I'm gonna keep top secret. And because I'm gonna be out here and then in Montreal and down at MagFest and then at RadCon over the course of the next 20 days, I am pretty busy, and that's going to make producing new content on a regular basis difficult. And I just wanted to give you guys something to think about over the holidays, so I am doing #NotMyYouTube, which I think is a great platform for discussing changes to this community, changes for creators, and just what it's like to be a creator on YouTube right now. You know, get my thoughts out there, add to the conversation. By the way, speaking of MagFest, I am going to be at MagFest doing a panel with Liam and Wooly, so if you are interested in hearing us talk about openings and intros to video games, come on out, check that out, and this MagFest will be a good time, I promise. But yeah, the #NotMyYouTube has been trending for a while now. A lot of different people have sort of been looking into it. I watched Philip DeFranco's video answering #NotMyYouTube's questions, and I found it interesting, but I had my own thoughts to weigh in. If you don't know what this hashtag is, it's 11 questions that are being directed towards YouTube creators regarding success, the challenges of working on YouTube, and what sort of changes we'd like to see going forward, what changes maybe we don't like. I think it's an interesting conversation to have, so I'm gonna be having it with a Santa hat, because otherwise Yazzie will kill me. So let's get started with the first question. How do you find out about new videos? Usually what I do is I will go to my subscriptions tab every morning, and I do that because the home page is basically broken for watching stuff that you already want to watch. This is a known issue. I really feel like YouTube could be doing more to correct this, like underneath the suggested for you tab, maybe before we have individual channels, just have things that your favorite creators have uploaded recently. Even just one line on the front page, I think would help immensely with subscriber retention, but you know, YouTube's not interested in that. YouTube wants those advertiser dollars. So I end up using my subscription feed a lot more than my homepage. Usually after I am done watching everything that I'm subscribed to, I will go check out the suggested page and see if there's anything from a channel that I like that I might have missed, or anything that seems interesting from a channel I've never heard of. And then I'll check the sidebar, of course, on videos that I'm already watching. If something interesting pops up, I'll go to there. If I'm not discovering it through those features on YouTube, I am going to be finding videos on Facebook or Reddit or Twitter or whatever, and seeing them through there. Other than that, word of mouth, I guess. What's a feature of the site that you miss? So for one, definitely having your subscriptions on the homepage. I know it's not like a big hassle to jump over from the one page to the other, but a lot of people don't even know it's an option. Right? You know, if you're going by the lowest common denominator on any website, there's going to be a significant portion of your audience that doesn't even know that they can switch to their subscriptions tab. There's a reason that I say, hey, like and subscribe at the end of every video. I know that that comes across as a little either condescending or desperate, depending on how certain people perceive it, but there are genuinely a lot of people who don't know that you can subscribe to channels on YouTube and need that reminder. or they won't do it. Other than that, I'm gonna echo Philip DeFranco's point on this, and I'm gonna say I miss video responses. I remember when I was a young, stupid teenager that I made a few video responses to people who I mostly disagreed with on issues of science, because I was one of those kids. I enjoyed doing that, and I think that it created a lot of interesting discussions to have these response videos to every single really big popular video. And yeah, there were the problems with the response girls who just watched the video and then left a video after that with their boobs hanging out saying, hey, I really liked watching this video, but I mean, honestly, that's still not the actual theft that reaction channels are. Again, I'm echoing a little bit of Philip DeFranco's point. I think that video responses were really valuable for maintaining the sense of YouTube as a community. Everything on here, theoretically, is created by somebody who's invested in this community and is adding to a conversation that's going on between every single other person that's contributing to the website. And I feel like taking away video responses takes away from that atmosphere. Comments are definitely not the place to go for anything remotely close to what video responses allowed for. What's your least favorite trend on YouTube? Oh man, that's a tricky question, because there's a lot that I don't like. I mean, reaction videos are a pretty good benchmark. You are literally just stealing somebody else's content and putting your stupid face either in the corner or around it. Either way, does not contribute anything to the experience of watching it and is like a pretty clear violation of copyright. Other than that, I would say that I don't know that I'm a huge fan of drama tubers. Like, I like hearing about YouTuber news. Obviously I do, or I wouldn't be such a big fan of Philip DeFranco, who I've mentioned like 12 times already in this video. That said, I like seeing YouTube reported on like real news, not like tabloid nonsense, and definitely not with no-chin commentary over video games that is rambly and barely qualifies as content. There's a lot of YouTube news that could be completely cut and nobody would miss hearing about it. The real important stories, you know, like what happened with the Fine Bros. What happened there was a real news story. So-and-so banging so-and-so, not a real news story. A fight going on between them now, that's not a real news story. I especially despise the people who take stories like that and don't even bother getting in front of a camera, don't even bother with any sort of production values, just sit down next to a shitty mic and record their thoughts while they're playing Counter-Strike or whatever. You know, just as a hypothetical example. I am very, very not fond of people who just take the lazy way out and just talk about stuff that's popular for the sake of getting popular themselves. Some people are going to call me a hypocrite on that because I talk about SAO a lot, but there's a difference to that, and I will get to that difference in a second. What's the most drastic thing you've done to get views or subs? I can't...
Exposed on stream.
Balls exposed on stream. I don't think I've really done anything that I would say is desperate, or...
Sword Art Online Dead Horse over and over again?
No, the Sword Art Online Dead Horse is... okay, so the thing about Sword Art Online, right? Like, some people will say, oh, you're just hitting Sword Art Online to get views. I genuinely dislike the series, but I find it interesting to talk about, because it does so many things wrong that there's just this endless chasm of opportunity to explore different ideas about how you should make film, how you should write stories, and how this thing does everything wrong. And I mean everything wrong. People keep saying, oh, you're just doing Sword Art Online stuff for the views, and I mean, I've kind of made that into a joke, but I'm not doing the SAO stuff for that sake. I'm doing it for the sake of, I find it interesting to talk about, and sometimes those videos are legitimately the most fun thing that I could possibly be making. And that's kind of how I approach all of my content. I'm trying to think of any video that I've made that I'm not proud of, and I can't think of one. I've always kept to, this is content that's interesting to me. I do try to fit what's interesting to me to what's interesting to you as viewers, because I'm of the opinion that video content does not have any tangible value unless somebody is watching it. The value in it comes from other people experiencing it. If you just make it for yourself, you may as well be masturbating for all the difference it makes. But yeah, I definitely make stuff with the intent of getting people to watch it, but I've never done anything that I would say I regret or that I think is particularly drastic. You know, I've just covered stuff that I think is interesting. In the past, I've wanted to talk about stuff like politics, and I've wanted to talk about how some people are saying YouTube has changed, and I've avoided that because it's not in my wheelhouse, and I think that a lot of my subscribers won't appreciate it, and that maybe it would be a bad idea to put that up. So I guess in that sense, not making content that I feel is interesting is the closest I've come to doing something for the views, for the sake of getting those clicks, or I guess in this case for the sake of not losing clicks, not losing views. Do you have any regrets on YouTube in regards to your content, your strategies, or your personal life? At the moment, nothing big. I don't really have anything at all that I've made in the last year that I regret making. I guess my Christmas top list from last year, on the grounds that nobody watched it, and I feel like, well, that was kind of a waste of time and the money that it took to get that edited together. I kind of regret putting up Bakano versus Do Ra 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 with the audio that it has. I wish that I had gotten a good microphone before making that video. I don't think it holds up as well as it could, purely on account of the audio not being as good as it needs to be. And I intend to do like an HD remix of that in some point in the future, you know, put that out. But, you know, I don't really think that there's anything that I've made, any interactions that I've had that have been like worth regretting, you know? Keep moving forward, keep making new stuff. I don't think that it's worth dwelling on the past like that. How has your channel changed since 1 year ago? Well, I mean, I guess the big change would be is that I'm no longer focusing 100% on the positive of art. Like, I'm being more critical with what I make. And for some people, that's not a good change. Like, some people came to my channel because they like me being positive and being like, I love this thing about anime, I love this thing about video games, you know, and I really, really enjoy doing stuff like that. My top 10 anime openings of all time list, my Undertale review, stuff like that are my favorite things on this channel, and the most cathartic things in a way for me to make. But doing critical stuff in another way allows me to sort of stretch my creative muscles. It gives me an outlet, you know, for frustrations that I might have. Like, I can translate real world frustrations about things that actually matter into fake frustration about anime that doesn't really matter and I don't care about that much. And you know, turn that into something funny. And that's the other thing. When I go negative, it's a lot easier to spin what I'm talking about into something more funny and more entertaining. And I mean, ultimately the goal of any YouTube channel is to entertain the people watching it. I think overall the biggest change has been my content's improved. My content, like, my production values have gone up, my editing has gotten better, both from me and from the editors who I hire to do work for me. I guess another big change for me is that video game content's a little more viable for me now, you know? I'm able to put out things about movies, and people will watch that, especially video games. Like, a year ago I put out my Undertale review, I put out my Xenoblade Chronicles review, and they got kind of piddly views, especially relative to the anime content that I was putting out. I was actually scared for a while that I'd irreparably hurt my channel by putting those things out until I put the One Punch Man thing out, and then that blew up. But yeah, I'm at a point where I can talk about things that aren't anime from time to time and feel comfortable knowing that those videos will get views. I'd say that in a lot of ways my channel has changed for the better, and I'm happy with the direction that it's going. What do you do to support your favorite creators? So I support a few of my favorite creators on Patreon. That's a really good way of doing it. I plan to dedicate more of my income to Patreon donations in the future, but that's the first sort of basic step. The more money you make, the more money that you can pass along to other people who are making good stuff. One big thing that I do is I leave ad block off when I am watching a video by somebody I really like, and I try to watch as many of their videos as possible. I mean, you know, each view doesn't count for that much when it comes to ad money, but it adds up. I will, you know, I'll leave comments on the channels of people I really want to support so that, you know, maybe some people from my community will come in and there'll be a comment thread that'll start and you'll get repeat viewers out of that. Whenever I go to a creator I like, who I really want to see succeed, I will start watching on their channel and then I'll watch like 5 videos after that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be from them, but like I will click from that video to the next video to the next video because I know that YouTube values session data. And another big thing that I will do with content creators who I love is that I will share their stuff on Twitter, on Facebook, because that's a really good way to get their stuff out there. Like, I will say that one of my favorite channels is Internet Comment Etiquette with Eric, and if you're not watching it, you should totally check that channel out. It's fantastic, one of the funniest things on YouTube. But I mean, I will do that in videos. I'll straight up just say, go check out Sword Art Online Abridged. I did that in my last video, and I'm planning on doing it more and more. Yeah, just try to spread them through word of mouth, and honestly, every little thing helps. So I try to do as much as possible. Everything that I would want my ideal fan to do for me, I do for them. How do you define success? I define success as being able to do something that you enjoy and make a living doing it. I have created something that somebody values enough to tell their friends about it, and that has made somebody else's day a little bit more enjoyable. And I am lucky to say that I get that kind of success almost every day when I look online at my comments, when I look at the views that I'm getting. It's about knowing that I've made something that's improved somebody's day, and knowing that I have made something that I can be proud of, and that making stuff like that is how I survive, you know? That's a good feeling. Are you happy? Is anybody? I mean, yeah, right now, absolutely. I have a fantastic girlfriend. I have a fantastic community that watches my stuff and supports me and is just super loving and super amazing. I get to make the stuff that I want to make every day, and I'm really happy about that. Is everything in my life perfect? God, no. Will it ever be? No. Will I ever have a day where I never feel at any point lower than 10 out of 10 happy? No, because that's not how the human mind works. But as a general rule, am I satisfied with how my life is? Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm really happy with where I'm at right now. Why do you do YouTube, and how long do you think you'll keep doing it? I do YouTube because I don't think there's really anything else that I can do that I'll be happy doing. I have a very specific set of skills. I'm pretty good at speaking. I am good at writing. I have some knowledge of how to edit and film stuff. And, you know, that my knowledge and my skill set just sort of comes together, and YouTube is the one thing that I think that I can do to a degree where I feel like I can make a career out of it. And I have made a career out of it. So I do it because it's the most creatively fulfilling and satisfying thing that I can do on my own. And how long do I think I'm going to keep doing it? As long as humanly possible. There's nothing that I would rather be doing right now, you know? It's brought me a lot of great friends. It has enriched my life in so many different ways, and it's the most satisfying thing to put out a video and be able to watch it yourself and be able to see other people watch it and enjoy it. Like, that feeling keeps me going day after day. I love that feeling. I love what I do, and I don't think I'm ever gonna stop unless YouTube stops being viable and I can't find a way to find new footing on a different video platform. If that happens, I'm probably gonna write a novel or try to get back into making video games. Has YouTube made your life better or worse? Well, I think I kind of just answered that. YouTube has made my life immeasurably better. I've made so many amazing friends through putting my face, my name, and my ideas out there on the internet for other people to see. I wouldn't have the girlfriend who I have now if she hadn't started watching my stuff. I wouldn't have a thing that makes me get out of bed every morning. You know, I would just probably be lying around miserable doing nothing. YouTube hasn't just improved my life. I think it, in a way, it may have saved it. I don't know where I would be if I wasn't making YouTube videos right now.
We're going to Dairy Queen.
We're going to Dairy Queen.
We're going to Dairy Queen.
We're going to Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen.
So absolutely, this has improved my life beyond any reasonable measure. I'm so grateful that I have been given this opportunity and that you guys like what I do enough to keep watching.
Time has stopped moving. Nah, I forgot while I was recording this, and I'm supposed to call out 3 other YouTubers who I want to see make lists like this. So, Digibro, Gigic, and Takahata101 of Team 4-Star, I'm calling you out. Please, you know, make some videos talking about your answers to these questions.
So thank you for watching. Thank you if you're one of my supporters on Patreon. Just thank you so much to everybody who's seeing this right now. I love all of you. If you want to see more stuff that I've made, if you want to see me talk about YouTube some more, I made this video up here about YouTube's copyright problem. And if you want to see something else that I've made that's just really, really good, my top 10 anime openings of all time video. So check one of those out. As always, I'm Geoff Thew, professional shitbag, signing out from my girlfriend's mother's basement.